All right, so I'm here with the formulator of Wild Earth, Yvonne Wang. So we're also here at, so go take a look around. You can see that we're here at the show. Everything's going on, but you formulated the kibble, right?
Yes, that's correct. I basically did the formulation and took it all the way to full-scale production. We did a little bit of pilot plant trialing as well. So basically, all the process of getting a kibble product out into the market, we did the full work. Nothing was skipped. Everything was thoroughly researched, studied, and all of the trialing, testing steps were met. And thankfully, I'm very happy that everything was actually completed on time and on schedule. And we were actually able to launch our product 10 days earlier. So
no, that's really amazing, because then, say something like this, even though it's for animals, like it doesn't necessarily require like a animal testing in a way where it's like you have to hurt an animal. You can
exactly. And what Wild Earth specifically does is that we don't use kennel animals or animals that are housed in laboratories. We basically rely on volunteer in-home studies. So the animals are comfortable at their own home, and the owners feed them our product and see, how they react to it. And again, thankfully, everything was fine. All the dogs really loved it. Actually, the owners would ask our study coordinator where to get the food and how fast they could get the food. So yeah, we're really happy with the outcome. It was positive feedback right from the start.
Okay, so with that being said, with the owners giving the dogs your food, what we saw even in your ad, like the CEO or whatever, right, eating the dog food himself, right?
Yes.
And actually, I tried it myself, and I think that's kind of an amazing thing. I don't think you're selling it for dogs, but because it's like a plant-based product, truly anybody can eat it, right? Even a human.
That's very true, and in fact, I've eaten it when it just came off of the line, and also all of our employees have tried it. As the first time I brought the kibbles back to the office, everybody shared it, everybody liked the taste, and we even before the commercial launched where Ryan was eating the kibbles, we have our loyal customers, a lot of them eating the kibbles themselves and posting videos online showing that, both the owners and the dogs would like them. And somebody even mentioned, unlike oily potato chips, they actually prefer our kibbles more than their regular snacks, which is amazing. I mean, obviously we don't encourage people to eat our food, but I mean, the option is there, and we do caution that it is intended for dogs, but we don't. It's up to the owner's discretion if they want to try it. But we definitely ate it ourselves. And actually, I used to formulate for other brands, including IM's Oral Care Complete for cats and High Protein for cats. And I did a lot of co-manufacturing work of other kibbles as well. And those were not plant-based. So what happened was like any product developers, when I started producing them, I would try some kibbles. But one day I took a little tour and went to this section where the meat was added, and it just changed the whole world for me. You will see meat slurries in totes stacked up ceiling high, and it's not a pretty sight, and some totes are out in the open. I sampled it, and it was not the best smelling thing. Normal kibbles will have compounds like cadaverine and just biogenic amine, not nice smelling compounds that are actually also bad for health. So you wouldn't get any of that in the plant-based kibble. And so seeing that process, that meat processing part, it really made me change my own dietary choices. So now I'm really 90% plant-based, and the Wild Earth space is 100% vegan. So at lunchtime, all of our lunch is vegan, and it's actually, it's been really helpful. So, normally when I come to LA, I try different foods, and over the past few trips, it's all vegan, vegetarian foods, and there's a huge, wide basically a lot of different great options out there in the city and everywhere else, and it's a growing trend. So it's been really a wonderful journey and experience, and really thanks to being able to have this opportunity of developing the dog food and working on it as my passion and my career, and actually helping to even improve my own health and eating habits, and it's just such a positive experience and life-changing experience. So I'm just so grateful that I have this opportunity to work at Wild Earth and to be able to launch this great product.
Can I ask you something that's not the dog food based? Right? You were kind of talking about it earlier because you're from China, and I travel in China often, and you mentioned eating vegan in China, right?
Yes. So actually, stemming from the experience of leaning more toward plant-based, at least being more vegetarian, flexitarian, and I'm still working on the path to complete vegan food. It's also just prior work experience, actually. Also, I worked at a company. It was called Life Technologies Corporation. Now it's part of Thermo Fisher Scientific. And at that time, I worked on a sequencing machine that basically would detect GMO foods or foods that have been adulterated. And I took a business trip to China, and to my surprise, I was told that it was in such a high demand in China because what they call pork sausage or meat, whatever meat that's labeled, it's actually not the meat as labeled. They told me it could be skunk meat, it could be mink meat, it could be fox meat, could be anything of the sort. So they needed the sequencing technology to even identify what is in the meat product. And that was very alarming for me. And there are times where I took trips to different countries, and I've gotten sick from eating various foods. So now I'm more mindful, and when I travel abroad, and there are fewer, when the healthier food options are limited, I tend to lean towards more plant-based foods, and I definitely stay away from the more processed foods, anything that's sausage or ground beef or minced meat. Sometimes you just don't know what goes in there, and it could be just, it's very, even with DNA technologies, sometimes it's hard to detect everything, and you obviously wouldn't be able to tell with seasonings and just by looking at it or tasting the food. So
yeah, because animal protein can just have the they can make the consistency
yes.
of, and people are used to eating as sausage. You can make any animal protein to have that same consistency and spice it up. They wouldn't know.
And it's actually not just China. What's interesting is I brought IKEA meatballs before the horse meat issue, and I saw it in the news that they literally showed a photo of the exact same meatballs I had. I was like, oh my gosh. So I might have had some horse meat at some point without knowing it. And it's not that, but still not what they claim the meat source to be, and being on the plant-based diet, you know it's a carrot and it's a zucchini, and you can see the products. And
I think that's what's cool about China in particular, because I think a lot of vegans, they might feel like, oh, China, a lot of Chinese restaurants have duck or different things like that. Especially if they're not Chinese people. So I try to tell people, China's actually one of the easiest places to eat vegan, because oftentimes you can see, I've been to rural, the farming village in Yunnan province, and they often have all the vegetables out, and you can say oh, I want fennel, or I want it, and then they cook it for you, and then, even some chefs they were like, I made sure to not use any animal fat or anything like when I cook your food, and they're like
Perfect.
usually it's so easy to talk to them. I mean, ideally if you could speak Mandarin, that's the
Which
easiest.
you do, so it's perfect.
Yeah, but I think you can maybe you can try to find ways where non-Mandarin speakers can let them know, like, I just want vegetables only, no animal. It could be something.
Yes, for sure. And what's nice is because the U.S., Europeans, and everybody, the plant-based food trend is so widespread these days, thanks to Beyond Burgers and Impossible Foods, and it's really helping with the Chinese market because being one of the largest populations in the world, you really don't want everybody to lean on a meat-based diet because we really just don't have that much natural resources left on this planet for everybody to just continue on this path of feeding non-sustainable food. At some point we will run out, and whether people believe in climate change or not, I'm sure people will notice when there's a food shortage. It will be noticeable, and by that time it will be too late. So the sooner we can get everybody switched on a plant-based diet, the better. And actually, what's nice about China is it had thousands of years of feeding vegetarian foods thanks to Buddhism and Taoism, a lot of religious-based needs for not eating meat. It's good for karma, and thanks to that, there's a lot of different kinds of food and meat, basically alternative meat products out there that have really good textures and taste, and it would offer the rest of the world a lot of opportunities to be exposed to those kinds of foods, and maybe someday the Chinese foods to people would not be considered as just egg rolls or chow mein. It could just be things like tofu. Like in Shanghai, there's a spongy kind of tofu, and it just might be some products that hasn't been mainstreamized here yet. But eventually, it might just catch on and become more widespread and mass shared and produced. So.
Yeah, I can definitely talk to you all night about this.
Yes, for sure.
We'll go ahead and cut off the video.
Sure,
there.
yes.
Thank you for talking with me.
Thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure. And just blessings to everybody. And I just really hope our foods can make a difference in the world in terms of making pets happier, healthier, and also making this planet basically a more sustainable and more biodiverse place, because we don't just want humans and pets living on this planet. We want everything else, all the living creatures to enjoy what this world can offer. So thank you so much.
Thank you.